If you could give any piece of advice to incoming freshmen, what would that piece of advice be?
Just getting out of your comfort zone. Like, obviously it is very scary. And trust me, I sit down with myself and I'm like, what am I signing up for? You know, if I didn't get out of my comfort zone to come to Brockport, I wouldn't find the people that I did. You know, I wouldn't be on this podcast.
But you will have the time of your life here. I almost guarantee it.
Welcome to another episode of Tour the Nest podcast. Today I'm here with
Mariam Noor. I am a sophomore majoring in communications with a concentration of influence and persuasion with a minor in psychology. And my fun fact is that I'm learning ASL this semester.
Oh.
Yeah.
Are you in a class for it, or are you
I love the class. I'm actually so sad that it's ending.
Really?
Yeah, I signed to the teacher. I can't even say like my name is Maryam. Your name is Hunter.
I took ASL in fourth grade,
Oh,
but I lost it all, so it doesn't help me out now.
yeah. I think if you ask me in 3 weeks, I don't know if I'll
We'll see.
remember the same.
See. But
Yeah.
all right, so like the first question, why did you choose SUNY Brockport?
Okay, so that's interesting. I love answering this question. So originally I came in as a Delta College student.
Mm-hmm.
So I got accepted into the Delta College program, and for those, for people that don't know, it's a college within a college, and they offer like smaller classes, more in-person learning, like more experiential, like improv segments and like in the middle of class and stuff like that. And originally I was kind of deciding between UB and Brockport because I live in Buffalo. But I kind of genuinely, I came here to kind of put myself out of my comfort zone and just grow, you know.
Yeah.
It was very scary. I was very, very homesick.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
It's not too far away though. It's only an hour and a half or
I
something.
think it was
like
my
that.
first time moving away from home. And I have a really big family. So.
Do you?
Yeah, I have 2 sisters and 4 brothers.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you're here, sophomore, studying communications with a concentration in.
Influence and persuasion.
So, do you like your major?
So far, yeah.
Yeah.
I this semester I'm taking dynamic professional speaking, and we had to do like a Shark Tank presentation and sell either an item or an app as something that the purpose wasn't there. So we ended up using Shazam, but instead of because Shazam does music and stuff like that, ours was more of for criminals. So police would upload police interrogations and public records of crimes and stuff like that. And then you can record somebody's voice if you're having a conversation with them, and then find out if they're a registered criminal.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And that was for what, your communication classes?
Yeah. It was exciting. It was very difficult in the beginning.
Yeah.
Somebody did DoorDash, but instead of DoorDash with food and stuff like that, they did gas. So you can get gas delivered to your door, and they'll fill up if you have multiple cars, fill up your tank. And they can even, if you order it, you can get snacks from the gas station delivered to your door.
Did you have to present this in front of the whole class, or was it
They did it.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
it was a different group.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I literally, because we had $20,000 to invest, and I put the full 20,000. I was they were too good. I was if I had multiple cars, I would love that business.
Let's see if they can get that
right up and running.
Yeah, exactly. So what do you want to do with communications? I know sophomore, you got 2 more years left.
Yeah.
Long, it's hard to think about.
Yeah.
But what do you want to do with it?
I feel it's actually kind of crazy to think that half of my degree is over and done with, you know? But the thing about communication is that it's a very broad field. You can be a CEO, or you can be an event planner. So I love public speaking, and I love interacting with people. So I knew that communication would be the right path for me to take. Although I don't know what specific job that is, I know that this is the field that I want to get into to find out whatever passion I have, career-wise.
Now, did you come into college this outgoing and this big of a people person, or was it something that you had to adapt to and kind of fill those shoes, if that makes sense?
I would say I was always kind of a people person, because before communications, I was going to major in nursing. Yeah. And the medical field is not for me. I find it interesting, how the human body works and stuff like that, but in depth, I just can't comprehend it. But I feel so. I'm a spoken word poet, so I write poetry and stuff like that. And the high school that I went to, my sister also did spoken word there. So obviously everybody wants to be like their older sister and like perform. So ever since freshman year, I've been performing spoken word in front of like my whole entire school. And it's like 12,000 people. No, 1,200, like around that, around that. And my first performance, although I thought it was great, looking back at the video, I can't watch the full video. Yeah, I can't. So like I did it like every single year. And then I think that's the reason why I chose communications, because like in high school, I was always talking to people. I was always seeing each other. And like, obviously with multiple performances, you kind of get not clout, but clout in a way, you know? Yeah. So like people were coming up to me. I'm like, wait, I actually like when people talk to me, you know? Yeah. So I don't know. And then I was also involved in a bunch of clubs. So that was just very helpful to kind of reach people and stuff like that.
So now thinking about like your first day on campus as a freshman, what was that feeling like for you? Because I know some freshmen are just like, it's a new world, it's a new environment that they're just like terrified in. But you talking about your experiences with, you know, talking to people, being a people person, was your experience just a little bit different once you got on campus?
I would say in a way, because it's funny because welcome weekend, you like move in before the classes actually start. And I like stalked the Instagram of like all Brockport's Instagrams and like found out about the welcome weekend events. And then I found out about the app that they have where they like posted like Res Life events and stuff like that. Before it was Suitable. I think now it's Cork. And it's funny because like I would just walk around because I knew that I wanted to meet people. I didn't know who specifically yet. And to this day, my friends like tell me like, yo, Mariam, I literally thought you were like a junior. Like you were walking around campus like you knew where you were going. But deep down, I did not know where I was going. You know, so I think it was more of living on campus, being away from your family is very, very lonely. So I feel like I was just kind of going to it just to find people, find friends. And what I realized about college is that if you pass the same person a couple of times, you'll start saying hi and they're like, oh, I always see you around. Like, what's your name kind of thing. So it was interesting to say, but I was very, very homesick. I was like crying every single day and it was a very tough experience.
So how did you deal with that?
I would say the way that I dealt with the homesick, because a lot of people say like, oh, you'll have homesickness, but you won't realize what homesickness is until you're in it. It's funny because like I'm a religious person, like I prayed about coming to Brockport and stuff like that. And I remember I also journal a lot. So I remember I was journaling and I went home the first weekend because on Monday there's like no school. And that was the biggest mistake of my life because as soon as I came back, I'm like, wow, I'm stuck here, you know? But I remember I was journaling and I was like, I don't believe in myself right now. Like, I feel like I can't do it. This pain of like loneliness is just too much. And I didn't know my roommates at that time too. So I was like crying every single day and like journaling about like, but I trust God at the end of the day kind of thing. Yeah. And I did, like, it's very cliche and corny, but like I did find my home at Brockport of like the people and the opportunity, especially the advisors. The ASC is like another second home to me kind of thing. So it was a interesting experience, but it's about having patience that made me appreciate the experience so much more.
For sure. Yeah. So you've been on campus now for 2 years.
Yeah.
What's your favorite part on campus, favorite place on campus? Any of those?
I would say for the favorite place, I would say the ASC, like the Academic Success Center. And it's funny because like when it comes to studying, I'm all about aesthetic. I have to be in a cute room in order for me to study well. Yeah. And the library the aesthetic is not the aesthetic that I like, but I like more modern kind of vibes. And as soon as I found out about the student lounge on the second floor of the ASC, I was there like every single day. I would say my favorite part about campus specifically though is all the campus events. Like a lot of people don't know about like ALAS, which is for Latinx American students, Caribbean Student Union, Muslim Student Association, the African Student Union, OSAD, like all these club events all these clubs have so many different events and it's just so diverse, and you'll have a more likely chance of making friends at club events than in class because everybody's just like, you're not caring about school at that point. You know, you're just focusing on getting to know people around you. And I feel like that's where I met a lot of my friends that I have now. So I think that's my favorite part.
Now, when it comes to the Joey Jackson Intercultural Center, I know you're there a lot. Yes. Do you just want to share a little bit more about what that is?
I love the Intercultural Center. It's on the second floor of the Union, and it's for like BIPOC students to kind of just feel comfortable and in a PWI and kind of just be around this like similar people and similar values. And there's next to the intercultural center is like a very small room that's connected to it that has like one of the hydro massage chairs.
Yep.
And it's just so, because there's LED lights in there, it's literally just so comfortable. But I think the thing that I love the most about the intercultural center is just the vibe of it, of just like being around people that have similar backgrounds to you, and being around people that, like, sometimes people even come to the intercultural center to kind of just try it out, you know, to see if they're going to meet somebody. And that's honestly where I became closer friends with like my close circle around me.
Yeah.
You know, it was, I feel like, and also last semester there was a foreign exchange student. Her name was Miho. And I first saw her in the intercultural center. And then I found out that I had class with her. And it was, I literally, like, me and my whole friend group, we all love Miho to death.
Yeah.
Like, Miho is, I feel like even to this day, we're almost like, oh my God, like this would be so better with Miho in it. And even in the intercultural center, I tried like Japanese candies that she brought from Japan, you know? So it was just, I think that made me have like it exposed me to different environments and cultures, because I didn't know about like the Japanese culture until like Miho was like telling me all about it. I'm like, wow, that is so interesting.
Awesome. Yeah.
And I don't know, it formed a lot of my bonds.
That's
you
awesome.
know?
Cool.
I give credits to Joey Jackson, who's in the cultural center.
So, is there anything on campus that you haven't like tried, done, participated in yet that you want to in the future? I know you're going to be busy the next year. But I just didn't know if there's always been something on campus that you're like, I want to try that, but just because of how busy you are, you haven't been able to.
Interesting. I don't know. Oh, the 89.1 The Point. I remember me and Mase, when we started like first getting to know each other, we went to the Union, and the type of person me and Mase, we're just down for the plot, you know, we'll do anything. And she ended up going inside there, and the guy in there was like, hey, do you want me to give you a tour? I was like, yeah. And I like walked around. I'm like, this is interesting. I feel like that's something I always wanted to like just try.
You want to
dip my toes in there just a little bit.
Be the DJ?
Yeah, right. Just imagine.
Now we're going to do a segment called What's in My Box. All right, so pretty much how this game works is I have my box here. Inside my box is just weird and like kooky things that don't make sense. But what you're going to try to do is I'm going to explain to you what's in my box. And then you're going to try to decipher if I'm telling you the truth or if I'm lying to you.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you ready?
Yeah, I hope.
Okay. So in my box, I have, you know, like your elementary school multiplication table paper at the bottom. And then in the top right corner, I have a water bottle, but it's not like your typical water bottle. It has water in it, but there's marbles inside the water bottle.
Okay.
And then on top of the math, like multiplication table, is a Moby Dick book, like with the whale. And then on top of the Moby Dick book is a CD of Taylor Swift Love Story.
Okay.
And then we just have a random Tide stick in here.
Like the pens?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then a tiny little mug, but the mug has a tiny little Hercules in it.
Okay.
Yeah.
What brand is the water bottle?
Dasani.
Okay. What's in the mug?
What's in the mug?
Yeah.
A tiny little Hercules.
What color is the Hercules?
He's not wearing a shirt or pants. It's just like his underwear is what it looks like.
What color is it?
Brown.
Okay. What's on the multiplication table?
Numbers?
No, on top of it.
Oh, on top of it. Sorry. I was like, the multiplication table. It's a multiplication table. A Moby Dick book.
Okay.
And then on top of the Moby Dick book is a CD of Taylor Swift's Love Story album.
What's in the top right corner? I mean, the top left.
Top left is Just like they're not mariachi beads, but Mardi Gras beads.
Okay.
They're Brockport colored.
Like, I believe that one. All right. I think you're telling the truth.
I think I'm telling the truth.
I feel like there's a lot going on in that box. Actually, I don't think you're telling the truth. You didn't mention the beads in the beginning.
So what's your final answer?
You're not telling the truth.
I'm not telling the truth. You got it right. I was lying about some things in here.
Yo, that is actually so funny. What?
So the Mardi Gras beads were correct.
Uh-huh.
And then, I can't show you the mug. Well, I guess I can. The mug does have a tiny Hercules in it. Or Hercules, the action figure. So I was telling the truth about that. I was telling the truth about the Moby Dick.
What is that trophy of?
I have no idea. I don't know what this is. Flag football? No, fantasy football. Dead last. Did you get dead last in your fantasy football league? And then
Nice.
There's a Tide Pod, and that's what was in my box. All right, so now it's your turn to tell me what's in your box.
There's actually no way. In my box is a box of crayons that have all the top parts broken off. Okay. And it's still in the box, but the cardboard box is like ripped around the outside. There's also half-eaten blueberries. Okay. And then there's a toy teacup with marbles inside of them.
Marbles are back.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think that's baby Jesus. I'm not sure.
Baby cheese?
Baby Jesus.
Oh, baby Jesus.
Or, yeah. I think.
Okay. So the crayons.
Okay.
You said that the cardboard of the top is ripped off,
Yeah.
and then all the crayons are.
Yeah, and then the crayons are in there.
Okay, whoever
but the
did
top.
that, if this is true, they're monsters if they did that. And then you said marbles in a little teacup. What color is the teacup?
Orange.
What color are the marbles?
There's like blue, purple, pink, orange. Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else in there that you're not telling me?
No.
No, that's everything.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't even peep. There's oatmeal.
Oatmeal?
Yeah.
What kind of oatmeal? What brand?
Millville's instant oatmeal, blueberries and cream.
Okay. And then the half-eaten blueberries.
Yes.
Where are they in the box?
They're next to the oatmeal. It's like raw oatmeal. It's not like actual cooked
okay.
oatmeal. It's like raw oatmeal.
Got
Yeah.
it. This is hard.
It's like a little moldy. I don't know.
A little mold.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know you like that to know if you're good at lying.
I would never lie.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
That's usually what somebody says when they lie.
That could go two ways. But I'm gonna trust you.
Okay.
So I think Miriam's telling the truth.
That's your final answer.
Yeah.
Okay. I was lying. So the oatmeal is in there.
A shoe.
But it's
my god.
I think those are like water shoes. And I don't know. Yeah.
That was good.
There's a crayon inside there.
There is a
That's
crayon,
where
okay.
I came up with the crayon.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's not.
Yeah, I didn't know what it was.
That's okay. That's so funny.
Yeah. And the half-eaten apple was the half-eaten blueberries. Yeah.
Wow. That was impressive. Good
Not gonna lie, I'm
job.
impressed with myself.
Yeah, that was really good.
And that's what was in my box.
So thank you for playing What's in My Box. So on to the next question. So you're very involved on campus.
Mhm.
So just tell us all the aspects that you are involved with on campus.
So freshman year or last year in the fall semester, I was the Delta Fall Symposium play director. So in our class, we were able to direct a play based on a book that we read within the class. And I was able to be the play director. I worked with like the writer and worked with cast, crew, and all of them. So it was interesting to kind of not boss people around, but be the boss.
Yeah.
You know, that semester I was also the secretary of the Muslim Student Association. And last semester I was a peer mentor for freshmen. And I also, for this academic year, I'm the event coordinator of the Muslim Student Association. I also work in the student accessibility services as a student assistant. And that's interesting. I feel like I learned a lot in that experience.
I think you're missing the pretty big one.
And the big one, I'm going to be the vice president of the Brockport Student
That's
Government
exciting. That's exciting.
Yeah.
So very involved on campus. I'm going to kind of like pick apart all of those and ask you questions about each one of those positions. Peer mentoring. For people who don't know, peer mentoring is every freshman takes GEP, which is a class that you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I see it as like how to college.
Yeah.
So you come in, it's one class a week, and you just sit there and you learn how to go through all the ins and outs of Brockport and just learn how to be a student here. In each one of those classes, you have an advisor or a professor, and then you also have a peer mentor, which you're a peer mentor.
Yeah.
So as a peer mentor, what was like one of the most common questions you would get from the freshmen?
I feel like freshmen are kind of more on the quiet side in the beginning of their academic year. So I didn't have as many questions as I would hope because I was always ready to answer whatever. But I think it was about involvement on campus. Like a lot of people think you have to be outgoing in the beginning to be involved in clubs and stuff like that. But it's not true. Like it's all about, at least the way that I view it, is getting out of your comfort zone to kind of just experiment, because if it goes well, it goes well. And if it doesn't, you learn something at the end of the day. So I feel like a lot of people wanted to either start their own club or find more information about joining a club and stuff like that. Also the parties, but school parties,
right.
Obviously.
Yeah. What made you want to get involved in like peer mentoring and, being there for the freshmen?
The reason why I wanted to kind of get more involved in peer mentorship was I wanted to be a resource for people coming into the school, because I know it is a very different experience than what high school is. I feel like there are similarities and there's differences, but there are a lot of major differences. So I just wanted to kind of ease that transition. And honestly, I feel like I wanted for people to kind of reach out about like campus involvement, because the difference in experiences just going to classes and being in and out is completely different when you're actually involved in activities and like have a different event to go to every day. I'm like telling my friends like, oh, you're going to this ceremony, you're going to this ceremony. Like it's fun, So I feel like I wanted to have people get a little slice of that life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So moving on your, list of things, MSA coordinator, you said?
Yes. Event
coordinator. So, can you just explain what MSA is, and then, just kind of explain like what you do as the coordinator?
So it's the Muslim Student Association, and a lot of people think you just have to be Muslim to go to these events, but it's just the way that the other cultural and academic clubs are. You don't have to fit in a certain box in order to just go to an event, have free food, and just, have fun.
Enjoy.
And it's to kind of have people understand what we believe and kind of understand the misconceptions about how media paints it out to be and stuff like that. So it's a really fun experience to kind of get out of your comfort zone and just learn about it, And what I do as an event coordinator is that I kind of think outside the box to see what kind of events people would want to come to. And it's kind of not only appealing to our Muslim students, but it's also appealing to our non-Muslim students that we want to kind of come in and like have people learn about what we stand for kind of thing. So I did like a spoons event, and a spoons is like a card game where there's like spoons in the middle, and then you have to try and match all of your cards. And then as soon as one person grabs it, everybody has to grab a spoon because somebody's not going to have a spoon. So I threw that event, and it was a really big hit.
Was
like a lot of people came,
spoons.
And it was so fun, so exciting. So I feel like just being able to see non-Muslims come to our event was just like, it's just so nice, And it's also about, there is a very small Muslim population, not super small, but a small Muslim population on campus. So like over the course of Ramadan, which is the month of fasting, we kind of like got closer to each other. We all ate together every single day. We prayed late at night together. So it was just,
awesome.
It's a fun experience to kind of just share it with everybody.
Yeah. All right. So moving on from MSA,
Mhm.
now you're the BSG, Brockport Student Government Vice President. So, how did you, or why did you want to get involved in BSG?
It's an interesting question because originally me and Tanine, the president,
Yeah.
we wanted to be like the vice president of MSA.
Yeah.
So we're like, out from the beginning of the year, I'm like, yep, we're going to do that
Let's
next
do
year. That's on my bucket list. So when she told me like, oh, like I want to do it for BSG, I was kind of like taken aback. I was like, I don't know. That's a lot of responsibility. I don't think I could do that. And even deciding on actually applying for BSG was a scary one because I don't know, a part of me didn't think that I was capable of doing it or capable, like even ready to do something that big. And in the beginning, I was just denying it. I'm like, nope, not doing it. I'm not doing it. Until something in me clicked of just like, honestly, the reason why I came to Brockport was getting out of my comfort zone and learning and growing. And I feel like that in itself was a stepping stone for now. I just want to kind of get out of my comfort zone and just be able to learn and grow. Like obviously everybody makes mistakes.
Yeah.
So I know I'm not going to be perfect at the
Right.
job. I know that I'm going to have a lot to learn when it comes to it, but it's for a lot of personal growth of mine because I don't know what's in the future, but I feel like this is just like a stepping stone
Absolutely.
for whatever God has planned for me.
Yeah.
And then also because I love being involved in campus, like it's funny because when I told people like, oh yeah, I'm going to be the vice president, they're like, yeah, that makes sense. I'm like, you guys believe in me,
Yeah.
So it's a lot because a lot of people believe in you and then the imposter syndrome kicks in and you're like, actually, they all believe in you, but you don't believe in yourself. How can you do that kind of thing,
Yeah.
So nobody's perfect, but it's all about the journey and the ride to kind of just learn and grow about government. And,
Yeah,
you know?
that's awesome. So do you have any big plans, for when you're in
Yeah.
office?
I think especially Tanine is very involved in camp. She's an RA. She's in the vice president of the MSA.
Is everything.
In C-STEP, like she's in a ton of different programs. So what we kind of decided on is that we want like people to be more aware of on-campus events because even when you're in like jobs, they want to ask you not only about your grades, about what you do outside of school or outside of class. And they want to know about who you are as a person or who you are as a leader or who you are as to be working with a team, So we both said that we want to advocate more of getting out of your comfort zone and getting in these positions and just having a good time. College goes by so fast, 2 years done and I don't know how we got here,
Yeah.
So it's more about I would say just growth
Yeah.
kind of thing.
So if you could have unlimited money to put on a BSG event, you can do whatever you want.
Mhm.
We'll pay for whatever you want. What event are you going to do? What's going to be at the event? Like, what would the event look like?
I'll say for food.
Okay.
Right.
Start with the important stuff.
Because usually everybody comes to campus events when they find out the food is going to be there.
Food
Free
or t-shirts. One of the two.
Yeah, one of the two. I would have, there's this place in Rochester called Halal and Out, and they have like New York style chicken over rice and lamb over rice and these burgers and all of that. So I would get that as the food. I would also there's a business, Cassie's Kitchen, and they make soul food. Their mac and cheese is so good.
Okay.
So that's going to be there. There's also a Jamaican restaurant around by, so that would also be there.
All right.
I would say, I don't know if you know about the world's biggest bounce house event. They are this summer they're in Rochester, and then last year for my birthday I went in Buffalo, and there's these huge bounce houses, and they have like obstacle courses, and there's this like when you go in the largest one, you literally just see bounce houses like completely around you, like you don't see grass, you don't see anything. And they have like a DJ inside of the bounce house. And they have like a bubble machine. So like you're like slipping and sliding and stuff like that. So I feel like that would be the event of like the world's biggest bounce house.
Okay. And then the most important question, what would the t-shirt look like for the event?
So I'm not a big fan of t-shirts that scream Brockport like on the front.
Right.
So I feel like I would have it more like, like the Off-White brand, how they have like the stuff in quotations.
Yep.
So I feel like I would have like SUNY Brockport and then like a nice design on the back. Like maybe whoever designs the Midnight Breakfast t-shirts, I feel like I would have that on the back.
Okay. I was hoping, not hoping, great idea. That'd be great. My thought of a t-shirt, it's pink. Nothing related to Brockport, but it's pink. And then you have Ellsworth on a bounce house.
Oh, I forgot it's supposed to be about the bounce house.
That's okay.
Okay. I think I would have Ellsworth flying over the bounce house.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then when this event happens,
Yeah.
we can collab on the t-shirt for
Yeah.
it. Perfect.
And then you're gonna have Ellsworth at the top, and then you're gonna be standing right above the tip of the.
Got it.
And he's gonna be flying to you.
To me?
Yeah.
Oh, so I'll be on
Yeah.
the
So
t-shirt.
Hunter's gonna be
Let's go.
right on the bounce
I
house.
made it, Mom. I made it.
Yeah.
All right. So wrapping up with the questions, what has been your most favorite memory about Brockport? Oh.
Yeah, because there's a lot. Because I can mention like staying up at night, like when I moved into a different dorm. There's Study U, there's midnight breakfast. Can I get a general idea? Can I say a general idea?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I think this applies to a bunch. But being able to go to different events with Esther, Grace, and Mase, because I feel like when you surround yourself with like-minded people, they rub off on you and like they're a good influence on you. So I feel like every single event, whether it's even if I'm just going into their room or they're coming in my room, I feel like it's just good vibes. I feel like that's what defines your college experience of just like having friends and just being able to like laugh or stay up in the middle of the night just laughing at like random things. Yeah. So I feel like that would be my core memory. Like I feel like when I graduate from Brockport, I think that's the thing that I'm gonna miss the most.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And then the last question, if you could give any piece of advice to incoming freshmen, what would that piece of advice be?
I would say the advice would be you don't have to be the perfect outgoing or you don't have to be extroverted in order to get on campus. I would say, I feel like I've said a lot of in this interview, just getting out of your comfort zone. Like obviously it is very scary. And trust me, I sit down with myself and I'm like, what am I signing up for? You know? But it's getting out of your comfort zone is allowing you to kind of learn different things and have different experiences. If I didn't get out of my comfort zone to come to Brockport, I wouldn't find the people that I did, you know? I wouldn't be on this podcast, you know? I feel like my advice is just believe in yourself to fall on your face and just get up, dust yourself off, and just keep going.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, thanks for coming on the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
It was a blast. And we'll see you in the next episode. Peace. Oh, you're still here? Next year, I'll be a senior graduating, and we're looking for someone to fill this host position on the podcast. So if you're interested, put it down in the comments below, and we'll be reaching out to you. Peace.